This is my Mono Ghost team for Classic Mode. Now, Mono Ghost can be pretty easy because one of the very important moves that makes the Wave 200 fight a breeze for Ghost types is Ghost type Curse. Ghost type Curse cuts your Pokemon's health by 50% in order to put a status affliction on your opponent that makes them lose a quarter of their maximum HP at the end of each turn. Now this is crazy for Eternatus. It means every turn you're breaking through one of his boss health bars, every single turn without attacking. It just makes the fight go so quick, it's so simple. In fact, Curse makes it so easy that we're not even going to use it for this run. So, in the spirit of this Ghost type run, I'll be trying to defeat Eternatus with a much more better Ghost type move, Spite. I'm going to PP stall him to assert dominance, and because I think it will be funny. So here's the team. We've got this broken Dusknoir set that I did a video on recently. If you want to know what this does, go check out the last video. Next up we've got G-Max Gengar, my first ever G-Max Pokemon in I don't know how long I've been playing this game. In fact, let's go check. 5 days? 5 days and 14 hours. I should probably get out more. Gengar is our speedy boy who can use Curse, but like I said, we're not going to. Although if the fight starts going really badly, I might have to use it as a last resort. But then I'll be very sad and probably not make this video. So if you're watching this in the future, then I probably didn't use it. Spiritomb here has Pressure and Spite. He's going to be one of our primary Spite users, although I may throw in a few parting shots just to weaken Eternatus a little bit. Although it might be quicker to just stall him out of Dynamax Cannon PP. I'm not sure yet, we'll see. We've got Doggy here, Houndstone. With Houndstone, I've just tried to give him a few moves to be effective against Eternatus. So he's got Thief if we need to try and steal any of our items back. He's got Dig for super effective damage and to stall out a few more turns. Last Respects for some burst at the end if we fail for whatever reason to get him to struggle. Poltegeist has been a decent sweeper throughout the run with Nasty Plot and its pretty high special attack stat. I've got this move Aromatic Mist that I'm going to try and plant a few of these on my stall Pokemon just to buff their special defense a little bit. Finally, we've got Cursula, who is our other main Spite user. She can also stall with Cosmic Power and Strength Sap. I would have liked a better nature on Cursula, but unfortunately Brave is all that I've got unlocked. So that's the team. So we're going to open with Dusknoir, and this guy's counter-teamed me since day one with this Ghost Owl that spams Spirit Shackles, and his own Spiritomb that is unnaturally fast for some reason. I know he automatically switches to Spiritomb on turn 1. He's been doing the same thing since wave 55, so I'm not afraid of the Spirit Shackles just yet. And I want to just start bulking up so I can kill Spiritomb quicker. So I'm going to get in a couple more bulk ups and then I'll just heal up with Strength Sap before I start throwing out attacks. In comes Swellow, and the second he switches in a physical attacker, I know I can just start getting to +6 immediately with bulk ups. He's got no answer to it, there's no reason not to. And at this point, it's pretty much over for him. One nice thing about this Dusknoir set as well is that having Unnerve as a passive ability makes the rival fight so much easier. You don't really have to be too worried or think about anything catching you off guard. Especially with things like Rayquaza, where when you drop down the health bars, he randomly gets stat ups. You don't want him also getting berry boosts and things like that as well. He brings in Ray, and I Strength Sap turn 1 just to scout what he's going to do, because he could have like Hurricane or something like that to catch us off guard. So I don't want to get crit with a special move or something, and then we might end up being in trouble. But he's dumb anyway, and he locks himself into Outrage, so we don't have to be worried about Ray at all. He's going down without much of a fight. Decidueye comes back in now, and after I pop his Reviver Seed, he gets a crit. Unfortunate doesn't begin to describe this series. Of course he gets a crit. It would have been nice to 6-0 him, but it's not too much of an issue, because we know we can just throw out G-Max Gengar and start blasting. I'm pretty confident that Gengar outspeeds and kills the rest of his team. And you're probably thinking I'm getting pretty lucky here with all these crits. but I've actually rolled 3 direct hits in the last 5 waves before this fight. So my critical hit chance in this fight is, I believe it's 50% for stage 3 crits, which is just crazy. I mean, like 50% of the time we're critting all the time. So yeah, it's a really easy fight. I could have 6-0'd him without that crit, but it doesn't really make any difference. But we also get lucky, we get an X special defense as well, right off the bat, which is going to be brilliant for Eternatus. The first part of the battle against his normal form should be pretty straightforward. I always strength sap on turn 1. It's very similar to the Rayquaza fight. He usually Eterna beams right off the mark, so we can just heal that up and start getting bulk ups in. He's got nothing to threaten us with as we resist Sludge Bomb, so there's nothing to worry about here. I did take leftovers off of Dusknoir during one of the previous waves, and I put them onto, I think, Houndstone, just because we don't want them to get stolen, and I'm not planning to bring Houndstone in. In hindsight, I should have done the same with the leper berries, but I completely forgot about them, which means that it's going to be a little bit more difficult to stall his PP out once he starts stealing our items. Once he gets those leper berries, it's just going to take a little bit longer. I'm not too worried about him using Cosmic Power either, as the plan here isn't to beat him with damage, so he can do that all day long. It's not going to help him once he's struggling against us and hurting himself with recoil. So we pop his first form, and we're on to the second stage of the fight. Houndstone comes in, so we want to immediately switch him out before those leftovers get stolen that we just moved. So we'll switch into Spiritomb, and it's nice to see that Spiritomb can tank about 3 of those Dynamax cannons currently. Now, unfortunately, this screen that you can bring up to show PP and moves, it's bugged for this fight. It will only show you the moves from Eternatus' first form, so I'm going to have to try and keep track of his PP in the second stage of the fight manually with my brain, which is something that I'm probably not going to do very well because I'm too lazy. I mean, hopefully that can be fixed in future, although I imagine it's not a very high priority since most people aren't trying to PP stall this fight like I am, so who even notices it? And I'm going to go to Poltergeist and use a few aromatic mists on Dusknoir while it stays in and stalls with pressure. But then I decide, actually, that's going to take too long. Let's get Cursula in before we run out of PP ourselves, because Eternatus also has pressure, and you'll see how quickly it starts racking up on our own moves like Spite. Basically cuts their PP by half. We can set up a few Cosmic Powers with Cursula so that we're plenty tanky enough to take some of these hits. And we've got Strength Sap too, so she's not going anywhere. So let's start actually using Spite and burning through his PP. It shouldn't take too long to start getting him into struggle range, as pressure does stack. So when we have Dusknoir and Spiritomb in at the same time, he's going to be losing 3 PP a turn, even when we aren't using Spite. So even though we can't check what PP he has left, and I haven't been counting, I don't know if you have, he must be really low by now. Even with those leper berries he's stolen, he must be low. We will take him down eventually. He's got no way through our defences, so it's just a matter of time before he starts to struggle. This run was really fun. I breezed through the normal ways with Dusknoir, but Poltergeist and Gengar, they were also pretty impressive with Nasty Plot and Weak Armour on Poltergeist to get the speed boost. The reason I'm making these videos is because I just want to show that there's a lot of different ways to win in Classic mode. You know, without using the super broken moves like Curse and Salt Cure and Soak and things like that. I see like a lot of posts, far too many posts, where people are saying Classic is too hard since they added the evil bosses, and the devs need to add this and that to make it easier, and I just feel like, come on, seriously? Like, first of all, you aren't supposed to win every run just by casually bulldozing through with a strong sweeper. That would be so boring that everyone would have stopped playing by now. And secondly, like, maybe just try, respectfully, getting good. I mean, it's Pokemon. It's not that hard. The AI doesn't even understand how hazards work. It can't predict coverage moves. It's not that difficult to beat the AI in Pokérogue. Just put a little bit of thought into your teams and your moves and just plan ahead. If you have a plan, you'll be fine. So don't complain so much, and like don't worry if you lose every now and then. It's okay to lose. I mean, you can always hit refresh. So don't complain so much. Just have fun and enjoy the game.